If you wanna be my friend, you had better go and get a pen. Maybe we can keep in touch like they did in the old days. It was so long ago. And I wish you well. Sign your pen pals. Pen pals. You're listening to Pen Pals with Daniel Van Kirk and Rory Van Scovel.
I agree.
Are you not going to open your eyes the whole episode?
I'm trying to see.
I'm going to do it too now.
I'm trying to see what it would feel like for the listener, because I don't have any of the cues I get from you.
Yep.
And you aren't getting any of the cues from me. Do you think...
It does feel comfortable to have our eyes closed.
It really does, actually.
It feels like there's less pressure for some reason.
Also, I feel like I can fight crime. Do you think that we could sarge each other with our eyes closed?
Yeah, and I think we'd get pretty close to getting it right.
I think we would, too. Do you want to try it? Are we saying when? Or...
I feel like this is acceptable.
Sergeant?
It does change the pace, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially us walking into a hotel room and we don't know where the light switch is.
You know, I think it'd be fun if you can do it safely, listener.
Read the letter.
Why don't you also close your eyes? And now, you, listener, as an individual, means that the three of us are now closing our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that feel like we're weirdly connected?
It kind of does.
Like your eyes are closed out there, wherever the fuck
closed?
you are. Probably in your brand new Jaguar. My perception of who listens to the show. Probably just bought a new Lamborghini. And you're sitting there listening to Pen Pals.
To our show drives a Lamborghini?
No.
Not a one.
Not even one.
Range Rover?
Yep.
Okay.
I bet we got some Range Rovers.
Yeah, but we got a couple of Range Rovers too. Well, actually, I do know. We have one for sure.
You're talking about mine? Do you like Range Rovers?
I could care less. I couldn't care less.
Oh, well, how much more or less could you care?
You got me. I could not.
And that's the kind of fun we have on this show.
I could not care less. Do you care about them?
What?
Range Rovers, Land Rovers, Command Rovers, whatever the third one's called.
Command Rovers?
Yeah, there's a third one.
Oh.
Do you care? No, right?
Land Rovers, Range Rovers. What's the third one?
It's like Command or something. A commandeer or like...
Commandeer Rovers?
I swear. We are much slower with our eyes closed. What do you think that's about?
Oh, what was that?
Okay,
Hey,
man.
Okay.
I'm over
All
here.
right. This is not about space, Daniel.
Don't you think we're slower?
Look, I gotta confess, I opened my eyes several times. I just want to see what you looked like. And you look exactly like you've always looked, Daniel.
Bradley Cooper?
Daniel from top to bottom.
Hey, I just want to conduct this orchestra for you. Thanks, buddy.
A maestro is born? Is that what that is?
Yes. Let's do that parody.
Yeah. A maestro is born.
Yes. The nose joke still works. Right?
A maestro is born over.
Okay, do you want
you ready?
Take a break?
You ready?
To take a break?
Yes. Are you ready to take a break?
I haven't opened my eyes.
All right. After the break, Daniel's going to open his eyes, and then we're going to get into it. So we'll see you momentarily.
Okay.
Let's go! Me or you?
You pick. Do you want to go first or second? You pick.
I'll go.
Okay. And you can do the other letter too. Whatever you want.
Great. This looks great. I don't know how to open it.
Should already be open.
It's opened.
Ta-da! It's vividly bright in here.
Well, you had your eyes closed for a while. This is very professional, right? This is what you think people got during the war, right? Yeah. Okay. Which war? Who knows? There's always a war.
My dearest Abigail.
Never not a war. War. Oh my gosh, they did it. They let us fill it in.
What does it say?
Blank plus blank.
Okay.
I'll go high road. Rory and Daniel. I will let whoever reads this insert their name first. Smart. Very smart. I hope you and your families are doing well. I am a longtime Penny and fan of you both. I work in financial services for a large consulting firm and can basically live anywhere in the U.S. as long as I am near a major airport. There are a lot of fun things that come with living in the city, but ultimately I want to settle in a small town. However, I think urban sprawl and job availability are making it increasingly challenging for small towns to thrive. For example, both of my parents grew up in rural farming and ranching communities that at the time were similar environments. My mom is from Katy, Texas.
Yep.
Which has now been
absorbed,
suburbanized, I guess, as it has been absorbed by Houston. When we go back, we'll drive by strip malls and giant parking lots of big box stores, and she'll say, this used to all be rice fields. My dad is from Haskell, Texas, where the closest major city is Fort Worth, which is still 2.5 hours away. We'll drive through the courthouse square, and he'll reminisce about when all the shops were busy and had decorative front windows compared to now, where it seems like every corner has a vacant, failed business, and every other house is condemned and falling apart in what used to be a nice neighborhood. It's still a nice community, but less and less people are choosing to move there if they aren't already from there. An example of an ideal small town environment, a few years ago I was traveling to Green Bay, Wisconsin for work, and I was so impressed at how it was able to maintain its small town charm while also being able to support an entire NFL franchise. Truly amazing. What is the secret? Also, oh my God, Midwest nice puts Southern hospitality to shame. To give Daniel that win.
Oh, I think that's said tongue-in-cheek. Because is Midwest nice actually being an asshole?
No, it says
that's what I've always felt like. Somebody's like, they're Midwest nice. It's like they pretend to be nice and they're a dick.
No, it's real.
Okay.
That's real.
You know what? If you guys say so, that sounds great.
Oh, it seems like you're doing it.
Mm.
God, I want to talk to you about the weather right now, but
well,
I was put to shame.
I do enjoy talking about that weather.
What are your thoughts / predictions on the future of small town America, and how have you seen Rochelle and Greenville throughout your lifetime? How have you seen them change throughout your lifetime? I am seeing Rory June 10th in Dallas. Well, this is an old one because not only are we talking about June 10th of 2023, but also that show was moved to November. I am seeing Rory June 10th in Dallas and hope to give him / his tour manager this letter, F2F, but subject to change. If our paths don't cross, I will mail it. I'm sure the show was still a RRGT, and you can know that I grew the shoe by inviting my friends. Thanks for coming to Texas. In Zool, we trust. Love, Shannon. P.S. Daniel, my favorite cake is also German chocolate. I also have never had a Big Mac or a Whopper. You've had a Big Mac.
I have a bite.
Not sure if that is still true for you. When is what? And my favorite movie is also Stand By Me. If I ever get married / have a wedding, I want to walk down the aisle to Florence and the Machine's version of the song. What is that?
It's their cover of Stand By Me, I guess.
Oh. Thanks for reading. I wish you well. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, dong, ding.
Nice. I mean, I think of Green Bay as a big city.
That's because you're from Rochelle.
Exactly. When they were like, it keeps its small town charm, I'm like, Green Bay?
Yeah. You mean Paris, France of Wisconsin?
Yeah. I feel like they have a Buffalo Wild Wings. They're not a small town.
Is that the defining factor for you?
Stuff like that, I would go.
Chains?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty depressing, and it's it is what it is, and it does make you wonder what will the ultimate outcome be, because quite frankly, a lot of people can't afford to live in big cities, more and more so. Mm-hmm. It's more and more the case because the housing market just isn't sustainable to a majority of people. It's like way too much.
like headed for another housing crash then?
More than likely.
Because who's buying these houses?
I think we're heading towards many crashes, probably.
Oh, yeah, you and Langston were
for
both like...
many different things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know what will happen to... I don't know what happens. I mean, already the charm of so many places in this country has been eaten up by corporate entities, I guess. I mean... You know, there was a time when places used to have identifying personalities, a city, a town, or whatever, and now a lot of places have the same restaurants, which doesn't distinguish any kind of difference. And they have the Best Buys, and they have all these things. And I'm not trying to shit on chain stuff. Like, I like chain stuff. I go to chain restaurants and shop at chain stores, but it does say something when... in these kinds of stories, these kinds of small towns, when the Best Buy moves to town, well, then the Carl's Electronics probably fucking is on its way out, and it's dead. And the sad thing is, Carl probably grew up in that town and pays taxes in that town and financially helps support the economy of that town and personally knows customers and the people of that town and the vibe and the energy and the tradition and the culture of that town. And Best Buy is owned by someone who, you know, fucking lives in, I don't know, Beverly Hills. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they don't care. They don't care about the town. It's similar to, you know, everyone feels that Walmart is so blue collar and the pride of America, but it's one of the most villainous companies in all of our country.
It killed Rochelle's economy.
It's killed every local economy. And also, for anyone who's listening to this who pays federal taxes, you help sustain all of their employees having any kind of wages. A massive percentage of the employees that work at Walmart are on federal aid, assistance, and you pay for that. And Walmart is making record profits like all companies are, and all they have to do is say prices are up because of inflation, but really production prices are down and they're price gouging people, which is just the truth. That's not a debate. I'm not saying something that's like politically, you like Biden. I'm just telling you the truth that inflation is not causing the issues right now. But that the thing I just described to you is, in my opinion, what is killing these small towns. Now, granted, I am saying that to Shannon, and she is a financial consultant. She probably could reply to this and go, here are the details of what you just described that are incorrect. But also, I have a feeling she would write back and go, no, you're pretty on target.
Right.
You're not hitting the target, but you're getting enough points to where Daniel's now drunk enough off enough whiskey and ginger ale that he's not noticing that you have not hit the bullseye, but you've said that you have.
I think you've gotten there. I think you've gotten there. I mean, I remember...
Well, luckily we were playing on electronic darts, so there's no cheating.
I think, like, I remember being a child in Rochelle, and if I had to guess from my little childhood perspective, and what I know existed and now doesn't, but completely making these numbers up, that the, like, homegrown local economy, like ma and pa shops, like your Spurgeon's and your Konauer Shoes and all these other places, probably made up, like, I don't know, 80-90% of the local economy that was like living in town, working in town, putting money back into town. People who lived in the town, worked in the town, spent money at those places. And I would guess now it's maybe 2%, 3%.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like Walmart killed all those businesses. Killed them all.
Yeah, I don't think anything changes until people...
My cousins have one, Midwestern Clothing Company. My cousins have a little retail shop in Rochelle, and God bless them. I think they kind of definitely had to find that niche of, like, this is Midwestern clothing, and it's here from Rochelle, Illinois. Yeah. And so it kind of plays into that. And, certainly with online, they can sell things as well. Yeah. But, I mean, without them, I don't know that I would know of one at all. And without them, I don't know that there'd be one. Yeah. But, like, when you were at the cabin, there used to be a Subway restaurant in town, and then that went away last year. Yeah. So other than Quick Trip and the other gas station, I don't think there's any chain in town.
Yeah.
It's almost like the more remote you are, the better off your local economy is going to be.
You hope if people stay there,
yes,
there has to be work.
Because the thing about Rochelle is we are 20 to 25 miles south of Rockford, Illinois, which is a very big city in Illinois.
Yeah.
And then we are an hour and 15 minutes west of Chicago.
Yeah.
So which means we're only 40, 45 minutes west of the suburbs.
Yeah.
So we are, and DeKalb, where Northern Illinois University is only 15 minutes in between us and Chicago. So in terms of like Christmas shopping, going to the movies, going out for dinner, all that stuff is a short little date night drive away.
Yeah.
And there are other towns that like we played in high school and stuff that are just another like 20 minutes, 30 minutes further.
Yeah.
And they still have a lot of local business.
Yeah.
Because the difference between somebody going like, do you want to drive 25 minutes or do you want to drive 55? They'll stay in town.
Yeah.
It was 25 minutes, 15 minutes to go to DeKalb. Like they're going to leave. There was a movie theater when I was in high school. There's no movie theater in Rochelle anymore.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 people. There's enough to support a movie theater.
Yeah.
Everybody goes somewhere else.
You worked there.
I did work there.
That's right. You have a lot of drama.
There was a little fine dining restaurant.
It closed because of the drama.
You have no idea. There was a little fine dining restaurant in town called The Beacon. That's now the new China buffet. Yeah. There's no, like, you can't get
always a new China.
Well, because there's another China buffet. You could literally hit a rock with the other one, and I have it.
So new China, you can throw it at old.
There's a China buffet and
China buffet and new China buffet.
Yep. But they're gone, man. It's cool. Everybody gets excited when Taco Bell comes to town and Jimmy John's comes to town.
It's not good.
But you're killing something. Although there is great local mom and pop Mexican restaurants.
You do hope the local stuff can sustain, but also again, like all these places, like people have to have work and they have to be able to have jobs that they can buy houses and build their lives off of, and you know, technology can change all that. I mean, we're living on the precipice of massive change that will be occurring, you know, over the next 5 years. In terms of artificial intelligence, our world is not going to look the same in 5 years in massively different ways across the board. And right now, I think a lot of people, us included, are sitting here in a space of, well, what will we be able to do? What can we have that we can sustain? You know.
Do you think stand-up could be our best bet?
I don't know, because people can't
still come to see it. They still
if they can afford to, if they have a job, if they can pay for it. But you know, there's that podcast that is run by AI, which is an AI personality. Was it
Pen Pals?
I don't remember what the name is, but Will Sasso and another person are like co-hosts of it with an AI thing.
Oh, really?
And the AI thing made a fake George Carlin special.
Yeah.
And when you listen to it, I personally don't think it actually audibly sounds like George Carlin, which is the strangest part to me, because you think that would be exact.
No, because he had to input his own voice.
But the actual performance of it is funny, and it does have all the little nuanced things. But I mean, it's got all those little things in it where you go, well, if no one announced to people and just put this on the internet and you didn't say George Carlin, people would just assume they were listening to a comic and they would be getting laughs. It's not like
if you put it on Sirius XM.
Because a lot of people go, well, the AI, the writing, they don't understand the joke. It's like, it's day one. Right. It's not day one now, which the scary part is. Show me your first
flip phone and show me the one you have now.
Yeah, the scary part is it's also not like, I think now it's year one. So you go, oh, what we thought they couldn't write scripts, AI. I'm not going to say they, because I don't even know what that is, but couldn't write scripts or can't do stand-up or can't do things. They can. The AI teaches itself to do it, and there's no way around it. It is massively more efficient and proficient than we will ever. It's not in our nature to be able to do what AI can do. It is in our nature to have strangely...
But it might cure cancer in a day.
Well, that's the thing. It's in our nature to have created this thing. But now, like all things, like everything on this planet, it can go good or it can go bad. It isn't predestined to be one way or the other. However, who is going to use it and for what? Mm-hmm. And seldom do people with good intentions get to be the ones in charge.
Sure.
Across the board. Look at the leaders of every single country. Look at the cabinets of every single government. Look at the richest people across the board. They're not. They're,
overwhelmingly.
Do you understand when someone goes, hey, LeBron James has X amount of money. He built a school and feeds all the children. And we all go, that's incredible. What a great person. The reality is that almost should be standard. It should be standard that someone like Jeff Bezos has put a new hospital and a new school and ended poverty in every single city, at least in our country, however, could do it globally. It should be the standard that has occurred, but it hasn't. And it hasn't happened because usually the person who somehow succeeded to get to $1 trillion didn't do it because they were a nice, compassionate person.
Sure.
And we have allowed it to happen that people can get to $1 trillion as opposed to perceiving it that, oh, well, everyone should be allowed to. It's a free market. It isn't, because when you let someone do it, they then become in charge of the market and they close all the fucking doors and windows.
Right.
They don't go, yeah, it is a free market. We can all do it. Every single person with massive amounts of money is currently in charge of all of the things.
Well, I was going to ask you this. Forgive me if this seems stupid.
Well, to this point, to bring it all back, there is a world where you go, will AI go the way of, oh, well, what would you like me to do? How would you like it done? What would you like these things to be? Or will it go, oh, no, this is the structure of this person. Oh, I can point out all the things that are wrong. Hey, AI, what could we do to combat climate change? What are we doing wrong? Actually, here are the 10 things you have to change by this date and you can survive. Would we do it? Would it give us that information? Would we be privy to that information? It's confusing because we don't really know what
movies where the AI goes, well, it's in your best interest. I can't let you keep doing that.
But that's better for a movie. Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying well, who has control over that and what do you give it control of?
Yes.
My question for you is, I've always kind of thought of capitalism like this, that when you start out, right? So let's just round it out to like 1800, right? 1850, whatever. When you start out, everything's all spread out. It's like the bottom of a pyramid. And so your people in New York, your people in California, your people in Florida, your people in Washington, right? And everything in between is all these little businesses, and everybody's trying to like make their money. It's the bottom. It's the base of a pyramid. And then as capitalism goes on, since it's about making more money, and competition makes better prices, but also get rid of your competition, right?
Yes.
So then eventually the people in Florida have taken over everybody else in Florida, and they're the number one car dealership in Florida, and now they're the number one car dealership in Washington and New York and California, right? So now it's kind of gone up a little bit because you ate up some of the people around it. And then over time, you just keep eating up everything around it to where you get to where there are
monopoly.
3 movie studios, there are 4 airlines, and it just keeps going. And you almost, I don't wish this ill will on any of our pen pals or anyone in this room, but you almost have to have a reset like what happened in 1930 with the Great Depression, where everything falls and spreads all the way back out again. Yeah. And now, who's going to be the mechanic in this town? Who's going to be the mechanic in this town? Because the guy who owned all these mechanic shops, he lost all his money in the stock market, or people couldn't pay their car bills anymore, whatever it is. And so everything fell down, and then you get to slowly build it back up. Like I've read, I'm not saying these people are smart or right, but I've read things where people are like, what happened when we saved the banks in 2008 is we didn't allow this massive reset that we had put ourselves in to happen. So we just bought ourselves more time on it getting more and more top heavy until it eventually fucking falls down and spreads out again, and then you build it.
We financially alleviated a lot of corporations under the assumption like, well, all of these people work for these companies, so you got to help them. But, these airlines that got, saved bailout money, a lot of them still fired a lot of employees while having been given the money to not have to do that.
You had the excuse to cut it all, and you had the ability to get the money.
Yes, and everybody, it's so funny to me that people like in their anti-socialism things can interpret that as socialism, where it's like, I'm not saying that's bad. Like, oh, we gave a bunch of money to these corporations to try to keep them afloat so that people could still have jobs. Like, yeah, okay, well, they still fired those people. So what if you just gave the money to those people and you didn't give it to the companies that clearly don't give a fuck about those people? Like, you've created an environment where people don't have to be accountable and they don't have to operate from any place of compassion. It is like, hey, are you compassionate? Do you have empathy? Well, then we can't let you be in charge. And that is the problem.
Right. Yeah.
The problem is that there's no one leading that comes from a place of, well, I'm leading because I actually care. It's people going, well, I'm leading because I'd like to be the most powerful, richest person. And that is the problem.
But and to go back to this, I think that's how it ties into small towns, because when you get the big new Walmart or the big new dealership that takes those other things out, you are decentralizing what happens here for the sake of something bigger that just kind of casts its shadow.
Yeah.
And then and the city is coming out farther because all those companies want to expand.
Yeah.
They need bigger spaces and they need new locations, and there are people there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't serve the people.
I will say, for everybody that, and I don't think they listen to this show, but something to think about is that all of these rural locations and places that are in the middle of nowhere that statistically for the most part are oftentimes very conservative and have a pride about that. And some of them that have like a hate towards a liberal mindset, I don't think they realize the shakeup that is going to happen in this country because no one can afford to live in the cities, is that it's about to be massive amounts of mixing up. All of these districts and places are suddenly about to be, well, I don't know, it used to be red, now it's definitely purple because so many people from X city had to move here because this is the only place they could afford to live. And they might have different politics than you. Now, what would you do if you're a conservative and you know that's about to happen, which will more than likely eliminate your power going forward? You would try to instill some sort of a dictator to where that can't happen. And here we are, folks. Election year 2024.
Well, let's not do that yet.
Oh, man, we're so close to it. I can't wait. We're going to lose a certain number of people again.
I just want to read down
Shannon, thank you for this inspired and incredible conversation, which I hope continues with all of our listeners and creates deep thought and stuff to think about and stuff to voice. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals. Rory Scovel.
And I'm Daniel Van Kirk.
And we're back, folks. Plugs and hugs. Go to DanielVanKirk.com. Green Ivy just did a whole revamp. He's got dates coming up. He's going to be in Wisconsin in May. He's going to be in D.C. late April. His special, Rose Gold, comes out April 17th, so you're going to want to check that out. And they may do something for it. We're still trying to think about it.
But over at RoryScovel.com, guys, the 22nd.
Of Feb
on
this
Max.
month. Wait, tomorrow? What is today?
The 21st.
Tomorrow. I'm going to be on. Actually, folks, if you're listening to this right now and it's early on the 22nd, I am on Jimmy Kimmel tonight. So watch it.
Fun.
Yes.
Celebrate it. I'm supposedly on with Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy. So don't just watch their segment and then turn it off. Watch the whole show.
RDJ and Cillian?
RDJ and CM.
Are you doing panel or stand-up or both?
Panel.
Nice.
They're going to take off. A-listers take off. They get out of there.
I hope everybody watches that. I'm going to watch it.
I hope people watch it. It's going to be fun. And then, the special comes out tomorrow, 22nd February. Max, watch it. And if you're going to watch it and you're like, you actually are like, you're not watching it because I'm just hyping it. You legitimately want to watch it. And Daniel will tell you the same thing when his comes out in 2 months. Tell as many people as you can to watch it because the numbers fucking matter.
Tell everybody the
So if you watch it and you go, I actually like this show where we need you to grow the show for us more than we can do.
Yeah.
We need you to do that with our other things too. So if you are like, I've been listening to you guys for years, it obviously means you like us and you like this show. it also means you probably like our stand-up. And you hyping our stand-up to as many new people as possible so that those numbers go up with these streamers matters more than I can ever possibly even explain in the amount of time we have.
Feel free to tag Max when you
tag
go
them.
online.
If you post, you go, I fucking loved it. Tag them. Tag us.
It really
helps. It really helps so much.
What's the title of your special?
The title is Religion, Sex, and a Few Things in Between. And it is out tomorrow.
That's so great, Rory.
So fun. God, it's so fun.
Shall we? Let's go to the second letter.
Like a dying cat.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Damn it all. Okay.
I like that a lot.
Did that get your third eye open a little bit?
It's open right now.
Is that what that is supposed to be?
I mean, that's where the third eye is located.
Amateur art by me. Hope you enjoy, Emily. They drew that.
Shut the fuck up.
Pretty cool, eh? What? Say anything on the back? Pretty cool, though.
I like Rory better than Daniel. That's inappropriate.
It's my handwriting.
Wait, why did you write it?
To my dearest pen
What
pals.
a weird power move.
Sending you a heartfelt thank you for the endless laughs
You're welcome.
To my life, especially during some trying times. I'm currently going through a separation, which in and of itself is hard enough. A 7-year-old daughter is involved. In addition to the separation, I will also have to give up my flower farm and florist business, a dream and passion of mine that has brought me immense joy. It's a dumpster fire of a double whammy. What advice do you have for someone facing a huge amount of uncertainty in the recreation of their midlife? P.S. I feel like this is going to... Yep.
Let me guess it. What's your favorite brand of cinnamon rolls? Mine is Annie's. I don't know if you guys have been doing the Annie's mac and cheese. Or not Annie's. It's like Immaculate something. Such good. They give you five big ones instead of the Pillsbury 8 smaller ones.
What is it?
It's so good. I'll figure it out.
Is it mac and cheese?
No, and I thought the brand was Annie's. I don't think it is, but Annie's does the mac and cheese. The cinnamon roll brand is like Immaculate something. I don't remember what it is. I don't know what it is.
Immaculate Cineception.
So good. Cineception. Favorite Nolan movie.
Mine too.
Cineception.
P.S. I lived with the grandson of the founders of Tombstone Pizza and his girlfriend in college for a short while in a golfing community.
That's pretty fun.
He was a semi-pro golfer at one point, snow-nose bumper, and legit nutcase.
Snow-nose bumper.
The couple had an African...
Cocaine, Lissa.
The couple...
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's her handle on Instagram.
Snow-nose, but she tried to act confused now to like throw off the scent.
Oh, I was going Cocaine Lissa.
Cocaine Lissa.
The couple...
It's actually, pun intended, on the nose.
Yeah, and in it. The couple had an African gray parrot who mimicked everything. I would think they were in the living room fighting, and it was actually just the parrot.
Ugh.
He, the grandson, also taught the parrot to yell "shank" every time a golfer would come by their house, which is actually pretty funny. PSS, Daniel, excited to see you perform in Raleigh in October. Would love to show you around town if you're interested or available. All my best, M.
All my breasts.
All my breasts.
All my breasts.
Woman from
What is
Total
the
Recall.
purpose of the parrot? Just to mock us?
I mean, owning anything indoors that's supposed to fly is already.
But what? Like the when they're like, oh, this parrot can like. I mean, the level of impressive that parrots truly are in terms of their mimicry is far more impressive than I think a lot of the TikToks and anything. In Australia, I was at the zoo, and I mean, you walk into these parrots, and whatever you said, in whatever accent, in whatever way, the parrot...
I've never experienced this.
The parrot then would repeat it in a way where even you just now going, I've never even experienced this, suddenly would be set up there, and somebody go, Daniel? Like, you would be like,
no
how are you?
Way.
Yes. And I mean, that's what I can't understand. What in the fuck is the parrot? I agree. Why birds? What are we doing? Come on, get out of here.
Come on, get out of here.
But the parrot, I just don't understand it. I don't understand the parrot. Sorry to become Jerry Seinfeld just then, but I just don't understand the parrot.
What is the...
What's the deal with the parrot?
Evolutional reasoning
I don't know.
For a parrot to mimic?
I don't know. But I have seen it at such a level that it
could do an impression
It's like
of
a magic
you.
trick you just saw. Yes. Yes. And I mean, even say more than you like. You want to like it.
That's
Usually,
the one.
I mean,
right?
a sentence. Where you're like, what the fuck?
You would go, what the fuck?
Yes, it would. It hears it and it's immediately right. It's almost like a robot. Like it can immediately hit the pitch and the tone and the delivery and
Like
just say
us
it.
singing.
Yes,
Wow.
the way we sing exactly like Whitney Houston.
Wow.
Yes, instantly.
I honestly, to God, did not know that.
It's crazy.
Can you imagine living with the heir to the Tombstone Pizza Foundation corporation?
Is it at a time when like you're just getting like all these Tombstone, or is this like pre-making it, like pre-big time, like? Well, I guess if this is the grandkids, this person
Lived in
like,
college, yeah.
Yeah, they've already hit it big. Because
And I would
Tombstones have
imagine-
been around since what?
I'd imagine
Mid
that
'80s,
M's is like mid to...
late '80s. When did Tombstone?
Let's guess.
I think late '80s.
Pick one.
That's when I can kind of remember. '87.
I'm going to go 77.
Oh, Melissa?
Tombstone Pizza?
Wait, are you going to guess or are you going to look it up?
Let
Because
me
I
look
thought
it
you'd
up.
look at it. It did seem like you were about to guess.
It also seemed to me that you were like, you guys are recording?
You did have a look on your face like, oh, is this the show?
Yeah.
Now, granted, look, I'm willing to concede. At a lot of moments in time, I don't know if this is the show.
Oh.
What'd you say?
I said
No,
87.
make her say what we said.
Oh.
No.
87, 77?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1962.
Wow. Ooh.
That is very
But is
impressive.
Is 1962 be like we open up a little pizza shop, and then it
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I'm like wondering when did the pizza?
Oh, when did it
Tombstone-
become, hey,
like
Tombstone was
make this at
founded.
home?
nationally
Keep this in your
distributed?
house.
Yeah.
Tombstone was founded in Medford, Wisconsin,
Oh.
by a couple of brothers. The name came from the Tombstone Tavern, a tavern owned by the brothers, which was located across from
Do
a
you
cemetery.
think it's still standing?
How far is
Tombstone
Medford?
Tavern?
But interesting.
Zero idea.
In 1968, the Tombstone Pizza Company became a wholly owned but freestanding division of Kraft.
Yeah,
So that's when
they
it-
sold their.
What a
name
great
rights and
example.
recipe.
What a great example of what we just talked about.
Yeah,
Craft. I'll take that.
yeah,
Capitalism.
yeah. So 60.
And you're going to sell. Kraft's like, you don't want 50 million? Like, all right, I'll take it.
right.
Why? I want this parrot that I know costs $1 million.
Have you heard these things? There's a part of me that hopes they took the 50 million and we're like, let's open another pizza shop. What do you got to do? We don't have to worry.
What do you want to call it?
We'd
What
love
did this
doing
blow
it.
your mind? Like, what do we call it? They go, DiGiorno's. And you're like, oh my, like your head would explode.
And I go, is it
Same
is it
ownership.
delivered? And you go, you'll think it.
You'll think it. We're still working on the slogan, but it's called "Is it delivery?" You'll think it.
You'll wonder.
Wrong again. It's called "Is it delivery?" Wrong again.
Right.
Like, what were they wrong about the first time? That's the issue with the slogan right now.
We're working it out.
There isn't a first wrong thing.
Right. You sure we shouldn't go with du jour? Yes.
Like, it just doesn't sound Italian. That's the issue.
Right. Okay. That's all your fault, Em, for derailing us in such
Thanks
a way.
a lot, Em.
I know. You're going through a separation, dumpster fire, double whammy, kid involved. What advice do you have to someone facing a huge amount of uncertainty in the recreation of their midlife? I'd say us at the beginning of this. Sometimes the lights are off and you got to slowly feel your way. Don't
I don't know
put
that
yourself on
they're-
a clock to find that switch.
I don't know that they're. I'll try to offer this. While it is a double whammy of a shitstorm and it's labeled as negative, don't forget that
This is in the
the
pursuit of
separation is maybe the beginning of better.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh my God, this is massive change, and
For
so
the
that's
better.
bad and
And hard
negative
and
because it's hard and hurts. And yes,
Scary.
I understand the 7-year-old, and I my heart breaks because you don't want that, and it wasn't the plan.
Right.
However, I would say that it doesn't mean that it isn't the best absolutely Doctor Strange sitting there going, what are the different scenarios?
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance this is the best scenario. That the separation, divorce, whatever,
and not even just for
is
you,
meant to happen.
For them,
for
hopefully you,
yes.
and ultimately, let's really for the kid too.
That's what I mean.
For everybody involved.
Everyone involved goes, this was the right thing, and we handled it right, and we handled it with grace, and
even if sometimes you're the only one with grace.
Yeah, and we did it the best way we could possibly do it. I think. Look, obviously we have the convenience of sitting on the outside of this, so we get to describe it that way. But as two people who have no dog in the fight,
and gone through horrible breakups,
don't forget that it can be positive, and it can be right, and it can be good. But also, you can't. This is to your point, this has been in my head since your movie. This is your story. Your story is this. You can't change it. It's just what it is. And so you can't go, oh, but I wanted my story to be something else. Then it would have been something else.
Right.
This is what it actually is. And so I say all this to say, don't allow it to defeat you because you think it should be. It's in movies and TV shows and on the outset, negative. It doesn't mean it necessarily is. It's potentially just necessary in order for you to get to better and great. There is a world where a year from now you go, fuck, I've never been happier.
Right.
Don't think that can't happen just because the story is no longer what you thought it was going to be.
I've never even had even if you are still Don, you've never had more opportunity for happiness.
Yeah.
And I think that, I'm sure I'm not thinking of every Doctor Strange scenario, but I think that no matter what way you categorize what's happening to you or why you're doing it, the positivity is always there. It's either the opposite of what you're saying or why you're saying it. So if you're like, hey, we're getting separated because I really want to be happy. And this sucks, and it is scary, and it is hard, but I am doing this because I really want to be happy. Or we are getting separated because I don't want to be treated like that anymore. Which means the inverse of that is because I want to be happy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're so right, dude, that it's just, I've been through really bad breakups. There's just times you just feel like what is the other side of this, and what the fuck is going to happen to me, and where am I going to land, and where am I going to go, and all of that, and it's scary as fuck, but it's all in the pursuit of, like you said, of a year from now being like,
you don't know,
man, thank God, you know,
and I think also not knowing all of the variables of this separation. I don't think any are described.
Yeah, unless you got reverse parent trapped and the 7-year-old made you guys separate.
No, that's right. But in this, you're not calling anyone out, and maybe you haven't been called out. So I don't know the variables, but just as a side dish of something to consider, this is maybe a great opportunity to step back and really self-reflect and self-analyze and really hold yourself accountable if you feel like you should be for whatever reason. You know what I mean? I don't know.
If you're partly to blame, I have to take ownership of the things that I did.
Yes.
Why? So that I can be happier.
Yes. And if they're partly to blame, obviously that's their mission to do that. But just saying, this is a time to go, who am I? Who do I want to be, and who can I become? And actually see the change as something that is difficult, but that doesn't mean it's negative. Difficult does not mean negative. They get associated because nobody likes the word difficult. Nobody likes the word hard, but these are the things that oftentimes lead you to fulfillment and a better place. You just don't end up there.
Is it weird for me to say that the things
that
are really rewarding taste all that much sweeter based on how difficult they were to get there?
Now you're turning it into a food thing.
So?
You want us to eat our feelings.
Dude,
that's wrong, Daniel.
Have you had true fruit?
When I went to the cabin, Daniel made me a tombstone pizza with peanut butter and jelly on it. And he goes, I eat this when I'm sad.
And I was
and I crumple Oreos on top, and I'm like, Daniel, I'm worried about your health.
I was trying to be happier.
Daniel, I would like to test your cholesterol.
And you're like, I can't get this down. I go, it's difficult to get down, but when you do, it's going to taste all that
That's why I'm making
better.
these chocolate milkshakes. I was like, Daniel, this is not.
You want cheese in yours? I put cheese in mine.
Then he just cheese whizzed his mouth and chugged a chocolate milkshake, and it was the 4th time we watched Spring Break.
To be happier.
But I have nothing else to offer other than
you're good.
I really wish you the best. I mean,
Same.
that's tough. It's a tough space that you're in, for sure.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you and to your child. But again, in an episode recently, we talked about perception. Don't forget, you're in charge of your perception, and you don't need to falsely spin things to be positive. I don't love it when people do that either, because it's almost like you're avoiding the negative and you're avoiding dealing with something you need to deal with. Don't just turn things positive just to do it. But don't assume that this isn't the path to positive, because it very well could be. You're not meant to know it. If you knew your story already right now, what would be the fucking point of this life?
Yeah. I mean, the last thing I'll say is, even you said you lost your business too, at the dream and a passion. Look, you want to talk about easier said than done. You can rebuild that. Maybe you'll, in doing it, find out you want to do something else. Just go where the happiness is for you. And even if it's by process of elimination, as long as you're being kind to yourself and your kid. Okay. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk
and Rory Van Scovel. What time we got?